Are we here? Are we live? I think we might be. Give a second for the stream to catch up, and we'll get going. All right, cool. So, hello everyone. Welcome to the stream. Getting a little bit of a late start, but a lot smoother than the first one, which is great. The more we can get things to run smoother, the more we can get down to what we need to do today. So, a little different today. We're not doing chaos. No, we're doing loyalists today. I bit the bullet and I signed up for a tournament that's happening next weekend. So I have a week and a half to get 22 models painted. Oh, I was going to have a thumbnail for this, but that's fine. So we got these. So we're going to be working on these Terminators today, I think. That's the goal. The fifth one is the one that I was talking about in chat that still needs to be primed. But the goal is this. This is the end goal. This is what we're going for. Got some Astro Granite on the base. And I thought about leaving it gray for like a moon texture, but I might end up going with this just to kind of break it up. This is Lieutenant I actually did yesterday. I really like how he turned out. He's cool. So, but before we get to all that, there we go. Oh, also, I do want to take this guy in for the character slot for the challenge. I was gonna do the Slaughterbound, but he's done, so might as well get him passed off. So I decided to get a new wet palette, or I guess a new surface. So with all these that I've gone through, I always worry about that I'm running low, but let's see. Got like maybe 15 there, but they do sell refill packs for these. We take one sheet and you just lay it down flat. Keeps the paints wet, and well, ideally you don't waste as much, but I guess that depends on how good you are and how much you use. You should see my other ones that sorry, it's loud. That I've gotten more paint than I've meant to, or I've used less than I thought I would. So, same thing with the jackals. We're going to do some dry brushing, bring out some of the detail in these termies. So, I'm just really talking through what I'm doing. But I don't want it to be like a tutorial. I really just want it to be like a hangout, you know? People want to come in and watch, and they can. I have this bit of sprue that I use to get the excess paint off. Because like I said in the last stream, wiping it off on a paper towel takes away the moisture from the brush, from the paint. But this allows us to get the paint off the brush without absorbing it, hopefully. I have found that with this method, it gets a really nice look on the helmet, which one of these days, hoping to zoom in on that, get a better look. But yeah, like I said, I got 22 models to do. I'll show off some of them today. 22 that some of them are done, some of them aren't quite where I want them to be. Could do some more detail. But I'm only a little nervous because it's my first tournament and I've only been playing for, well, I'd say 2 years, which sounds like a lot. And maybe I've played over 50 games. But still kind of grasping at straws when it comes to the fundamentals. This one's not working as well. I would say, oh no, it's ruined. It's ruined my technique, my reputation. It's all gone. This is where I want to zoom in. Because I could bring them all the way up here, but then you can't really see it too well. I brought the light over. Okay, there you can kind of see. There's like some gray on the left one. Don't want to knock over the water or drink it. Now, what I find works really well with this method is one, like I said, the helmets look really nice because painting white is a pain, but doing a few layers of off-white, starting with the gray and working your way up, it works well. Now, this pauldron piece right there is also going to be white-ish. But it's called they call it the crux terminatus, which is said to have a piece of the emperor's armor embedded within it for like added protection, blessings, stuff like that. But Terminator armor has already been made. You can't make any more of it. So, oh yeah, a little bit too much on there. But it's all right. We're going to go over it with a lighter gray anyway. Definitely want to make sure we get the helmet, though. Get the raised details of the helmet. Because I do not want to have to go back over that with gray or white. All right. We're looking good on that guy. So, yeah. Zoom in, focus, enhance. So what I think I'll do is I'll use all the gray that I have here and go from there. Because I want to use up all this gray. Don't want it to go bad, dry out. With priming that last mini, I actually ran out of the Chaos Black spray. I've actually been using a different primer, just like your old Rust-Oleum, like Paint Plus primer, which is good coverage, but it takes longer to dry. And it kind of goes on thick. And I've had bad experiences with Rust-Oleum in the past, but it's not meant for models. So I can't really fault them for that. The idea is that, finding a more affordable alternative. But I will say Citadel primers they're good. They're good. Good coverage. They dry quickly. The colors are good. They have a nice matte finish. And this one, it says it's matte. Well, I mean, this one might be satin. A satin finish. But it is a little bit more glossy than I'd prefer. But with this dry brush, we can minimize the gloss. Now, I might make a video about this, or maybe a short. I don't know. But how I kind of, when I started, what caused me to start painting my models in this way? But I'll tell you right now, because I might as well. I bought some orcs off somebody. And the way they were painted, they weren't all painted, but I got to look at them closely and kind of see the technique and kind of reverse engineer it. And they were slap chopped to heck as far as the post primer goes. Like, the details were picked out and they just looked well, slap choppy. I have some Gretchen that are still like that because I haven't painted those up. But there was an orc vehicle, the Boomdeck Snazwagon. That was the first thing I painted from that set because I could see where I wanted the colors to go based off of the detail that was made apparent from the slap chop. Because what's nice about the slap chop is that when you have a lighter color or a lighter tone underneath, it makes the color that you put over it lighter. And so you can put the same color, like we're going to be working with this McCragg blue, and you can put that over a model. But because there's like some variance in the tones, in the gray and white tones, the blue's going to look different. It's going to look a little textured, which I really liked. Which is why I really like this guy. And this lieutenant was done in the same way. So that's going to be awesome. And speaking of awesome, oh my goodness, 11th edition? You guys, I don't think you understand. 11th edition is going to be huge. And I'm not just saying that. Like, I've only played one game of 11th. And kind of. Like, I had made my card stock footprints for the new objectives. And I had a whole bunch of images on Google pulled up and the PDFs for the faction packs. And it took a while because I was between a lot of different web pages, and my laptop ran out of battery because it wasn't plugged in. It was a mess, but it was cool. And as I'm starting to learn more about the game and how it really is more than just a strong sword or a strong gun or strong armor, and it's like, yeah, you can't hope to beat it because its numbers are too big. Its numbers are bigger than yours. Which, when we think about it, a lot of games function like that. Bigger numbers win. And I suppose at the end of 10th edition, that's how people played a lot. Like they were running, they call them stat checklists, which is really just, do you have enough, do you have like enough big numbers or a whole bunch of little numbers? And do you have enough of them to take me out? Because if not, I'm going to march my units up the board and walk all over you. You got people running like Tyranids, and they're running 3 Norn emissaries. Or like 2 of these dudes. They're huge. The big, high damage weapon does a minimum of 7 damage. It's D6 plus 6. And you get 2 shots with it. This is nuts. Oh, this is also a base I made. Look at that. And there's a little Space Marine arm coming out of the ooze. I thought about playing some games for a stream or for a video. Because I recently picked up Total War Warhammer 3, because Total War Warhammer 40K is coming out probably, I'm going to say May next year. And I signed up for the beta, or I registered my interest in taking part in the beta. But I'm sure there were thousands of people interested in that. So we'll see if I even get in. But it could be very exciting. I don't know if I'd be allowed to record any of that. It'd be fun though. Me, I have never really played a Total War game, but except for this one, I've played a little bit of the tutorial. I did pick up Total War 3 Kingdoms, but then it was just a lot and I refunded it. Because I think there were other games that I was playing plus school, and I don't know, couldn't be bothered to commit that much time. But this one, it's more approachable. Well, now I'm just saying words. It's fun. It's fun, and there are like 8 factions, and Grand Cathay has like this Chinese aesthetic, and the main dude can turn into a dragon. Could be cool. So that one's on the list, maybe. I have ideas for making an animation that is going to be like an intro to it. Also, because that's my major and I'm out of practice. So I could probably need to do that more. Because it's July and I ain't got that much time before the semester starts again. So we're going to paint all this. I will get to those animations though, because I get excited about thinking about it. But I gotta get these minis painted because the tournament is coming up, and I cannot wait to go 5-0. Sorry, 0-5. So, because if you don't know how a Warhammer tournament works, you'll play. There are 6 rounds, unless someone goes undefeated. Then there's 5 rounds, and you'll always play against someone who has the same win-loss ratio that you do. So if you've won your first game, you'll play someone who's also won their first game. And if you lost your first game, then you play someone who lost their first game, and so on and so forth. And so hopefully you're evenly matched, and that way you don't fight against someone who just has this crazy list and is so tactfully minded that they just walk all over you, because that's no fun. So my idea for this list is Orbital Assault Force and Librarius Conclave. And so what that means is I can pick some units to just drop onto the battlefield. And they can start off. They can start off the battlefield and can come on later, and I can drop them anywhere as long as they're at least 8 inches away from an enemy. Now, usually you can do that with normal units, but they have to come in like 6 inches from a board edge. But Orbital Assault Force gives you the ability to give 3 units deep strike, which means they can come in anywhere. And so I'm going to do that with my 3 dreadnoughts, or maybe 2. I might as well do all 3. That way they have the deep strike ability. All right. Getting some of this. Moving on to the Administratum Gray. And this will get us our next layer of detail. Now, the key with this one is that I do not want to push my brush into the nooks and crannies. I just want to be on the surface because I want those nooks and crannies to remain dark and in the shadows, like the Balrog. So that way, when I go over it with blue, those shadows stay dark. So that'll be fun. So my list, yes, airdropping the dreadnoughts, like Titanfall style. Goated. High Guard, never heard of her. So my plan is drop those dreadnoughts in the back line, in my enemy's back line, my opponent's back line. Sorry, not my enemy. I mean enemy as far as my models are concerned. Like, I'll RP that I just want to destroy you any day. I mean, and if the person's mean, or if they're rotten, or if they complain about dice rolls, or, I mean, you know the kind. You know the kind where you play games with someone and they just don't make it fun. So that's part 1 of the plan. Airdrop, and this arm's a little loose. Airdrop the dreadnoughts into the back line. Step 2 is all about these terminators. I'm pairing each unit of terminators with the librarian and terminator armor. It's gonna let these guys hit better, or I guess just hit more. Oh, his shin broke off. Oh no. Somebody call a doctor. Get the apothecary. See, that's why even if you're doing push fit, where you've got like the little pegs and the holes, you should glue. So, oh, and there goes the arm. Oh, look at that. 1, having to redo the primer, and 2, his arm's just it's just broken because the push fit peg broke off in the hole, and that's just one of the many reasons I hate push fit. But that's okay. Plastic glue, that'll work for the shin, but with stuff that has paint on it, you're gonna want to use super glue because the plastic glue melts the plastic and then it hardens again and kind of welds it. Very cool concept, which will work with the shin because it's not painted. It's just going to be plastic on plastic. That said, I'm going to pop the foot out. Hang on. I have an apothecary model. I should get him in on this. All right. Apothecary on station. Blink. He can witness. We'll fix you, brother. Your fate is not yet that of a dreadnought. Okay. Shin. Plastic glue. This stuff is dangerous. It smells so good. And some of my favorite memories in regards to the hobby is when I first started, when I got my first box of minis. And it wasn't push fit. One, I was surprised. Two, I put them together while watching a favorite YouTuber play Backrooms or Escape the Backrooms with his friends. And I was just putting together my minis. It was a good time. All right, it's glued around the peg. Let me just push it there. Now the peg will hold it in place. The glue will melt the plastic. It'll mix. And then it'll harden again. And it's really strong. Like, it'll break, sure. But, you know, it's like, it's not as brittle as super glue can be sometimes. Because that's just some kind of... I want to use the word substrate. I don't think that's right, though. So, now we use the super glue for the arm. Now, because there's like some flat parts that go against the flat parts of the arm or the socket, what we're actually going to do is we're going to snip this off. Snip off the rest of the peg. And then we are just going to coat this. Or I could wait, actually. Because I could paint the gun or the assault cannon separately. That way I'm able to do more detail work. And then I'll glue it back on. That's probably what I'll do, actually. So, sorry, brother, you'll have to wait. Brother, my arm! It's okay. Relax. You've endured worse. Alright. It's just a shame because that's the one I was working on. So, just gotta business as usual. Get the paint, brush the paint off, brush the paint onto the model. Oh no, this arm's a little loose too. You know, the wear and tear these guys go through. Because these Terminators are from the Leviathan box that launched with 10th edition. So, they rolled off the assembly line more than 3 years ago at this point. Which is nothing compared to some collections I've seen. You know what I want? I want to do guard. Or maybe not. I just want to paint a tank. I love guard tanks. They're so fun. They look so cool. So, yeah, that's how it goes. The model looks cool. And you're like, dang, they got a lot of cool units. And I have a lot of cool money. I could spend it. Yeah, I'm not eating this month. That's fine. An, a simple sacrifice for the Emperor, or the Dark Gods, or the Greater Good, or the Hive Mind, or the Kin, or I don't know. What do Necrons fight for besides their HOA? You know what I mean? I need more. I'm not getting enough paint on here. Not getting enough paint. Now I'm getting too much paint. Don't want to have too much paint, because I'll be in trouble. There we go. Uppy downy. I want to do at least some blue today, but we'll be hanging out until like 12:30, so there will be time for blue. Fret not. Bam. Kind of breaking a dry brush rule here. Kind of going for a little bit of a gradient on the fist. That way the blue gets lighter as it goes towards the end, because he's punching. He's punching metal for fun. I do. Where to get some of this dark gray? Just because I want to get. I do want to get some of the panels. I don't want them to be super dark. See, that's the thing about the paint, is pull from reference by all means. Get inspired. But man, I was on Facebook. First mistake. Because I'm part of a group that's like Warhammer painting for noobs. But I swear everyone there has been painting for like 5 years. Because they got absolute masterpieces. Like this one guy, he just paints busts. Like probably 3D printed of these cartoon characters. Like from mid torso up, and detail is immaculate. And that's reflected in his models too. And I'm like Doctor Strange after the Ancient One sends him through the ringer, and he's like, "Teach me." And she says, "No," kicks him out. You know, speaking of teaching, someone's actually putting on a miniature painting competition show called like Miniature Masters or something. It's kind of like your Great British Bake Off, but for painting minis. And I'm thinking about all the things that I could learn from it and the different techniques people employ and how they fix something when something goes wrong. And I just think to myself, this is probably how people feel about baking. Because they try a technique on a model or on a cake. And you're like, oh, I got to try that. And then you try it. You would see if it works. And you learn. Wiggly arm. Oh, I do want to get more up on the top. because it's a flat surface. And flat surfaces are always hard to deal with. That's why I don't like... See, as someone who built a Marine Army and tried using contrast paints, shakes my head, dude. You don't want to do that. Or at least I didn't. Nothing good came from that. Like, yeah, you get good coverage because it's like a stain, but it's all... And maybe I was doing it wrong, because contrast paints work great if the topology, or rather the topography of the model, is broken up by detail. Not so much the case with armor plates, because with contrast paints you get the darker parts seeping in and the thinner parts stay on the surface, end up a little lighter. But you know, the idea behind contrast paints, right, is that they're fast and they can look good. They can. I'm not discounting that. But I enjoy the process of painting. So if I want to take my time with it, then I won't be using contrast paints. You know what we're missing? Missing some music. Come on, some music. Break up the tone. Break up the vibe. So let's see what we can get going. I don't... this should be fine. Yeah. All I want is like a nice lo-fi... Oh my goodness. There's a Dawn of War 4 video. Oh, and it's a battle report. Battlefield report. Oh my gosh. Gameplay. Gonna have to check that out later. Let's see. Let's see. Lo-fi chilled beats, 12 hours of DMCA free and copyright free music for Twitch streamers. Oh no. This is discrimination. Whatever. Does it come through? Maybe. The desktop audio. Maybe I gotta turn it up a little bit. There we go. Isn't that nice? Yo, Zlem Smith. How's it going? Good for you to drop by. We've just been painting up these termies. Means I can't use it. Yeah, right? Well, we'll see. I'll use the Twitch streamer music, and if they want to come after me, well, then I'd be flattered. Do tell me how the volume is, though. I don't want it to be too loud. I want it to be a nice backing track. We're also in the midst of doing some surgery on this guy. His arm broke off because it's push fit. But this is the goal with these guys, is to get him to look like that. This is the lieutenant that I did yesterday, and he is going to be the one to fulfill the character completed challenge. on the challenge card. And I'll get a little stamp. And that'll be great. We'll be on our way. I might as well just show off Angron right now. Again, the arms are not glued on, but I've done some more work on the webbing. My push fit arm falls off. Bro, glue, bro. Get some plastic glue. And your arm will stay on. And then his axe arm. His arm falls off too. Ooh, it's not push fit. Gotta be careful. Ooh. Just realized it's very precarious. Holding it over the paint. Could have dropped it. I have had that happen before. It sucks. Because then you get like a big splotch of paint on the model that you didn't want paint on. Then you gotta wash it off, you gotta cover it up. Yeah. Just thinking, I really like the slap chop process, because then I can be fast and loose and get more detailed later. Bro, your hand, I know, look at that. It's all the paint. Did that on purpose. Oh. Which ones have you had today? I know you know what I mean. It's a call out for you specifically. I only ever have Mango Loco. Nice. Nice. Got the juice. It's nice that you found a GIF specifically for it. But I guess I shouldn't be surprised. People love mango. And me, I'm a big fan of the Viking berry. Though I couldn't really describe its flavor. It's a little bit of a tart berry, though. I had never tried it before, but a mutual friend of ours was playing Clé Obscur, and so I went over there with the Viking berry monster. And it was a good time. All right. I think we're getting close here. I might go one more shade of gray lighter, which means I'm gonna have to go get it. But that's where we're at with them. Viking berry is yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I gotta be careful around it. Because, you know, it's not one of the ultra ones, so it's all sugary and stuff. I'm gonna go grab that other gray. Because you can never have too much gray. Okay. Yo, there's a Pokemon and Chill one. And I can get sued by Nintendo. It says no copyright, though. Huh. Anyway. We got these. We got a Korax White. And is it Ulthuan? Ulthwan? I want to say Ulthwan. Because I think that's a Gray Knight. Not Gray Knight. Eldari. Color. Like the white and red ones. And this is probably what they use for like the Wraith Guard heads. Make them look like giant bowling pins. Awesome. We got some caked paint. Right up in there. Don't tell James Workshop. But I'm gradually replacing everything with the dropper bottle replacements. So if you want to know, this is Vallejo Game Color Bloody Red. And I've been told that it's a good substitute for an Evil Sun's Scarlet. And is like 50 cents cheaper. But honestly, more than just the price. The dropper bottle? Back to work, but I'm gonna lurk. You know, I appreciate that. And I appreciate your engagement in the chat. So have fun. Stay safe. Wear your gloves, PPE, all that. Yeah, I'll be streaming for about, got an hour left. Now, with this Ulthwan Gray, we want to be a little bit more careful. And we don't want to push as hard as we have with the other grays. And you want to keep the bristles of the brush flat. Because if we turn them sideways, then we start to poke more. We want to keep them flat. And that's how we're going to get that raised detail on the Crux Terminatus, on the Aquila, which actually isn't the Aquila because it doesn't have the twin heads. I speak heresy. Safety glasses. Who's she? You wouldn't know her. She's a carpenter. Works in carpentry. Builds armoires because she's fancy like that. Oh yeah. Slap chop. And we're just gonna, I'm going this way on the top and that way on the top so that the bristles catch the edges and we get a natural light edge highlight. Man. Sensational. That little extra detail makes a world of change. World of difference. Love it. So we're going to do these 3. And then we're going to break out the blue. Yeah, with this Ulthuan Gray, I really want to make sure I'm getting as much paint off the brush as I can before putting it on the model. Otherwise, I'm going to get these bright streaks. I do not want that right now. I just want to catch the ridges. Oh yeah. Especially when it comes to like the purity seals and the parchment. And you get that the hills and the valleys of the parchment catch our different tones. Bro. It's good stuff. My goal for my Terminators are to hold down my my expansion objective throughout the game. Because I'm actually lining up a game, or I'm trying to line up a game for tonight. So I can give this list a shot, see if I want to change anything. And just play, because I got my mission deck, and I got the terrain footprints. Really gotta be patient with this ish. Yeah, and I wonder if this will come through. I'm brushing the mini right next to the microphone. No, never. Oh. Getting a secondhand embarrassment for myself, which I guess would just be firsthand embarrassment. I'm sure there's an audience for it, but like, is that how I want to leave my mark on the world, or I don't know. Okay, now we're gonna open up the pot of McCrag Blue to start the first base coat on these models. Actually, yeah, it is time for that. Phew. Got a fresh pot of water. Well, now it's not fresh. I'm wiping off all the gray. All the Ulthuan gray. Get off the brush. Dun, 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 dun. See, I gotta get some more alerts. Do some more stuff on screen. Just because, like, nothing's happening. I need like a timer. Maybe like a little image of the spinning model that we're working on. Loading screen tips type stuff, you know? Work's been slow. I've gotten, let's see, probably 20 hours in the past 2 weeks. I don't know if it keeps track. But Islam Smith, you are... It took 2 comments. But you've jumped to the #1 fan. Wear it with pride. Yeah, neat. Neat. Man, I got some gray on this brush still. Wow, that's really bad. Really caked on there. But you know what? It's all right. I got this brush from a big pack of brushes that was like $2. I don't know, closer to $3 probably. All right. No need for that sprue. It's time for the McCrag Blue. Tagline. All right. So, we'll start with you. Squad member Thaddeus. Sure, why not? Should do a thing where if you're a subscriber, you get to name the model. And I'll paint the name onto it. Do some sort of contest giveaway thing. So what I'm going to do here is I got some of the blue. And I'm just going to grab this tail. I'm going to pull out the tail. And this tail is where I'm going to do all my mixing. Mixing with water, thinning the paint, and then we'll start with a nice flat surface. Gentle stroke. Never going over the same area twice until it's fully dry. I should get a head cam. Only because painting from this far away is hard. And if I get too close to the camera, you'll start to see my 5 head. Can't have that. Can we? Can we? Can we? Oh my gosh. Black Flag Remaster launches in like 5 days? I know it's early this month. Start of July. Because Ubisoft, I guess, is so creatively bankrupt, especially after, again, I don't know. They probably fired everyone who worked on Black Flag originally. Well, that's not true. That's not true. I'm talking crap. Because they have some of the old heads working on the remaster, or worked on the remaster, did some promotional videos for it. My brother's going to pick it up. But I mean, he also asked. I don't know. I feel like I almost got him into Warhammer. Almost. But it's one of those things, I like to call it novelty bias, where something's new and it's exciting and it's cool. But just for like the first week that you know about it, then it kind of fades and life goes on. And you can have novelty bias. And the reason I say bias is because you might think, oh, this is the coolest thing ever. Oh, Warhammer's so cool. You can have it with Warhammer, have it with the gym. But you can experience more than once this feeling. Like if you haven't been around the thing in a while. That's me with like Souls games. Like Elden Ring or Bloodborne. There was a time where I was obsessed with the lore of Bloodborne. Just because it's that eldritch horror stuff. It's like, what does this mean? What is the moon presence? Why are you now a slug? Stuff like that. But Miyazaki, dude, goes on in that guy's head, I wonder. Cool stuff. Or something. Because it's funny, I was playing through Dark Souls 3 years ago. And you know, you got the starting area where there's people in armor, some evil looking dogs. And it's like, oh, this is just like, you know, it's a grim fantasy. But there's nothing freaky. Oh, boy. It gets freaky. You get like these enemies with big baby heads. Or like Samara coming out of the well. The big hair. Screams at you. Man. Freaky. But cool. Now they just need to hurry up and remaster Bloodborne. But it's okay. We've got like that one game coming out on Switch 2. Like the Ghost Bloods or something. Unless I'm getting my fictions mixed up. Which I could very well be. Could very well be doing that. All right. Gotta do this shoulder pad now. Now we gotta be careful around the crux because we don't want to mess up the nice detail. Don't want to get the blue on it. Be very careful dragging the brush around it. Very deliberate. Now I don't want to do these streams bi-weekly. I like to do them weekly if I can. Because can't gain any traction, any motion otherwise. Oh, I messed up. I did it. I did the exact thing I needed not to do. Because I'm so far away, I can't get up in there. I should stay away from the detail parts. Again, why I need headwear. Or like a head cam. Or just bite the bullet and, set the camera somewhere else and just be on the screen myself. Need more water. See, now I'm mixing up my little trail that I had going on. Because maintaining the balance between water and paint is a challenge. Oh, I still got minis to prime. And I'm out of the good stuff. Because the good stuff, it's good. It's expensive though. Like $24 for a can of primer? Are you nuts? And then Army Painter primer, dude. Once that stuff goes on, it's never coming off. I swear. Don't worry. I'll have some new UI stuff next time. Because that'd be exciting, I think. Totally revamp. Make some custom assets. Open up Adobe Illustrator or something. Do some texts. Some graphics. Be good. Let's see. Trying to make it easier to see. Oh, dang. Where to go? The elbow. Well, at least you can tell that he's blue from all the way up here. It's definitely not like this guy. The blueberries. I was thinking about, I have this poster of all the Space Marine chapters that are fighting in the Indomitus Crusade. And I've thought about painting up an army like them, like one of them. Because, yeah, I just went with the safe option of Ultramarines, which I do get some guff for. Give me a lot of guff for playing the Boy Scouts, the Blueberries. The Space Marine of Space Marines. But I like him. Because I like Gilliman's logistics. That and they, during the Horus Heresy, they were the word bearers stopped them from getting to Terra. Got in their way, they delayed them. And so the Ultramarines actually weren't there when the Emperor was wounded. Grievously wounded. You know, and they live with that. I actually have Dark Imperium on my shelf, which is the first book of the Indomitus Crusade, I think. Dark Imperium, Plague War, God Blight. Yeah, I think they fight the they're fighting the Death Guard in this one. And funny enough, this is actually rewritten. Yeah. This is the second edition of Dark Imperium and has been revised for this publication. Yeah. So, as they were like changing stuff around in the lore, they changed the book a little bit to better fit in with the current era, which I think we are still in the Indomitus era. We have been since 9th, but we've got things like 500 Worlds with good old Captain Titus. Now we're on Armageddon. And they have a lore book in the Armageddon launch box called Operation Imperator. Imperator? I don't know. I mean, I haven't even read the ongoing lore of my Leviathan book. That was 3 years ago. I feel like I should. I actually just recently started reading my Space Marine Codex. I was a little nervous about that because it's such a thick book, but that's only because Space Marines have so many units. And the lore section actually isn't even that big. So, that's cool. Maybe next time. Well, no, next time we'll be painting up more Space Marines, unless I get them done in the interim. Because I've had to put my orcs on the shelf. I was in the middle of doing them. And it's like, oh no, I can keep doing my orcs, it's fine. But The tournament approaches. And as such, the Marines must be painted. Yes. I think we just do the area around the helmet. And a little targeting array. And some of the arm down in there. And maybe some of the inner leg armor plates. Because right now, I don't usually think this, but right now I'm just thinking, what's the least I can do? Just because of all the Marines I do have to paint. Which luckily isn't too much. Because it is a rather elite list. Dreadnoughts. A repulsor. I think I'm running 220. No, 11 Terminators. And some intercessors, an outrider squad, which I think I'd rather have JPIs being jump pack intercessors, or technically assault intercessors with jump pack. Huh. I got my list all up in here. Stand by for dread drop. It's because I'm airdropping all the... Oh, I have to do the ancient too. This guy, he's got a banner. I gotta paint that banner. Oh, man. I'm gonna do the feet. Gotta lock in for the feet. Pause. Right. Just about there. Getting close. Man, there's gonna be judging on army appearance. Like legitimately, a contest on how well your army's put together / painted. And there are some really, really good paint jobs out there, bro. But I've been painting for a while. They ain't ready for me. Nah, I'm joking. But I've come a long way, I think. But I do love the painting, the process. And with having so much gray, it's endless. Endless peace. Running out of blue again. Oh, on the inside of the fist. That area. Gotta get there. Let's see, we might just use the rest of the blue that we got right here and call it a little early. Still more to do on this guy. So I really just want to, hang on. There, if I'm like right here, now I can be close to the mini. Oh, we are out. We are out of blue. Scooch in, get all close. Dang, I gotta get really close. Seeing how far away or how close I can get to the camera before my head starts to poke through. Because there's that, and then that goes right to the camera. So yeah, it's quite this steep plane. But if it lets me get close to the mic and to the model, then win-win. See, some ultramarines I see painted up are a very bright blue. And they're cool. I'm like, dang. I want mine to look like that. But I do really like this darker blue that I have found. And I found it. It's my method. They say, oh yeah, you just use all the tutorials and the sheets are like, oh, use McCrag blue. But it's so dark. Actually, I have a can of McCrag blue primer. It's actually almost empty. There's a lighter blue I have that's like called Calidor Sky. And what I did once is I loaded that up into my airbrush and kind of did some highlight work on my repulsor. Go grab that right now, and then we'll call it for the stream. So this thing. So it's got the, it's primed in the McCrag blue. And then it is airbrushed with the Calidor Sky to try to brighten it up a bit. It's a little dusty. It's been on my shelf. It's not fully done yet. Because I still want to paint up I like the assault cannon up there, the comms array, the gun back here. Add some stuff on these. You know, they're not quite sponsons. So I wouldn't call them that. But this is part of my army. So it's going to be driving around. My Hellblasters are actually going to be the ones that are in here. But yeah. It's fun. And it's a big tank. Love big tanks. Hence the whole guard. The thing about this though is that they're grav tanks, right? So they don't have treads. They just float. And you see these at the end of near the end of Space Marine 2. You get like 3 of these rolling out. This one specifically has more carrying capacity. The Repulsor Executioner has bigger guns on it. But I got this guy for my guns. Or something like, I'm running a Gladiator too. But a Gladiator Valiant. Could run the Gladiator Lancer. It's got the Lance Laser Destroyer. Man, I sound like such a nerd. But I want, I guess, the adaptability of the Valiant because the Lancer just has the big gun really, and it has some smaller ones, but the Valiant has a good gun, a twin las Talon, along with two meltas, two multi-meltas. Anyway, I want those meltas. AP4, get out of here. I don't know how much this will help for a size comparison. But here we've got Angron and the Repulsor. And Kith. But no, Angron is absolutely killing this thing. And I guess there it is compared to a can. I still got some. I don't want to pour it out. Alrighty. Well, I'm going to get stuff cleaned up. I'm going to take this guy. I'm head off to the Warhammer store. Show him off. Get a little stamp or whatever. Character completed. Heck yeah. Thanks everyone for stopping by. Maybe in the future we'll play some games. I'll make some animations. It'll be a good time. But until then,